Tell us about your character, who you play, what she's about.
I play Ellie Ryberg on Childhood's End. I feel like Ellie is the kind of counterpoint to Ricky Stormgren, who is played by Mike Vogel. I play his wife, girlfriend at the beginning, and then we jump 15 years into the future and we're then married. So I'm kind of like what grounds him on Earth, and he's the liaison between the aliens. He gets to go up to the alien spaceship. He's the only one that gets to go to the alien spaceship. So then he comes down and tells all the human race what's going on, and so he gets all the wrath from that, but mostly he gets a fan base. And so these pilgrims start coming to our property. So we live out in the country in this beautiful setting that we shot in Australia, and so Ellie kind of loses the life that she had before because her husband's kind of become a celebrity at this point, and she loses her privacy. And so when everybody else is experiencing the utopia that the Overlords have brought, Ellie is kind of questioning whether this is really a good thing for her own life, and not in a selfish way, but just kind of like as an alternative view about the whole situation. And she doesn't quite jump in so quickly. She has that wariness, of what is the cost of this, peaceful invasion that has brought health for everyone, elimination of injustice and sustainability and all these great things that we would think of for our own utopia concepts. She's just wondering about the cost of that and whether it's really 100% a good thing. So Ellie is kind of that voice of reason in a way, and unfortunately she's also very powerless against, and that's one of the hardest things for me as an actress. I like playing really strong women, and I have played a lot of strong women in my career so far. It's like deliberately by choice. And yeah, I felt this sadness with Ellie's character and a real powerlessness, which it was hard. It was different.
Is that an obvious shift? So I haven't actually read the book, but I imagine
Me neither.
We see a little bit before this invasion happens,
Yes.
and then afterwards, obviously. So is there a dramatic shift between how she is before and after?
We don't see a lot of beforehand.
Okay.
We just know that they're together and that they had carved out this little life for themselves, and they were probably planning on starting a family after they got married. We don't know for sure, but we know that she's like happy-go-lucky kind of character. She's a photographer. She's a creative type. She moved from New York to a tiny little farm because she fell in love with this farm boy, Ricky Stormgren. So there's that kind of sacrifice element for love. So we know that they have something really strong and sweet. And then we see 15 years into the future and the kind of strain that it's put on the relationship. And they're still very much in love, but they're definitely struggling with the changes that this invasion of the Overlords has brought to their lives. So it's not a really obvious shift, but it's a kind of like painfully heartbreaking shift. I mean, at the core of this show, it's sci-fi, but it's a drama, and there's a love story there, and as alongside all the cool alien spaceship stuff as well. Yeah.
It sounds like you said she's questioning everything and it's hard for her. It almost sounds like she's going to be the viewpoint of the viewer looking in. Do you think she's going to be asking questions that the viewer would be asking themselves as they watch?
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. I feel like that is a lot of what her character is. But there are other more skeptical characters than Ellie. Ellie's not like the skeptic role. She's just kind of the wary role. Like, yeah, I'll take utopia. It's obviously for the better in some ways. But I think her creative background as a photographer, maybe that feeds into the fact that she doesn't like that everybody's kind of now conforming. There seems to be this kind of like single-mindedness and a elimination of individuality. And so then you'll see in the show, we can't talk too much about it, but you'll see the resistance to that and what comes about, and the fact that in life, individuality and conflict and struggle is the root of a lot of creative projects in our world, and the kind of vehicle for change and wanting to improve things. So so when utopia is just like handed to you, it's kind of a question of where do you go from there.